Hello YouTubers and welcome to my first audio announcement segment. Those of you who watch the Sequence Breakers will recognize my voice, but for those of you just joining us, I am Koto, and right now I will be covering a few topics regarding the channel. First being the schedule for LP releases. I don't believe we have said anything about a concrete schedule since the channel's first announcement, so some of you may be a bit confused as to when content is made available, and I will lay your, I'm sure, worried minds to rest for the 10 or so people who actually watch this channel at the moment, and I hope to change that after this November, but the reason behind that will become clear later. Anyways, we stick to a strict release schedule, and that being at least 3 videos on Mondays and Wednesdays. Now, lately we have been consistently doing more than that. I think we have in fact been averaging about 4 or 5 in the last month or so, but that's because our actual lives have been allowing for it, and we still own enough interesting video games to make videos for, because spending money is an issue for a college student like me. I don't constantly go out and buy games like others may do. So every now and then there may be just that week where our lives just fill to the brim with all sorts of insanity and craziness, and we're only able to get up a few videos. But don't panic. We aren't going anywhere unless we release an official announcement saying otherwise, which is unlikely, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. Also, just a minor note, I am planning on dropping Borderlands 1 from the lineup. I mentioned that in the description of one of the episodes, and I think it was mentioned on the Facebook and Twitter account, but I will be uploading all the ones that I have edited, 2 per week until I run out of episodes. I don't think that's many left. I think actually I've uploaded all of them except for the last one. So yeah, I'll be making one more where I'll be sure to mention it during the video. Now don't think I'm just gonna drop it and you, the viewer, have no say in it. If you wish to see Borderlands 1 continue, you can comment on any of the episode pages. Comment on Facebook, on Twitter, anywhere you can find the Sequence Breakers, just let me know. My reasoning in this is just that it hasn't been getting much attention, and if it continues that way, I might as well move on to something else that I think will. My other reasoning being the lack of a story just really gets to me when I'm doing a Let's Play. There's the lack of something for me to react to keep you all entertained, and there's that awkward silence, which is not something you really want in a good Let's Play. It doesn't feel good for me because I'm scrambling in my mind to find something to talk about. I get nervous, my gaming performance suffers, and your overall experience suffers as well. Now, I may eventually drop other video series as well, but I have no current plans to do so, and I will be sure to make an announcement if that changes. Now, on to the main event. I'm sure many of you have been anticipating the release of the newest Nintendo console, the Wii U. Be that in anticipation like, oh my god, this is going to be the best console ever, or I can't believe this, Nintendo is just giving people another thing to waste money on. Regardless, you'll all be pleased to know that the Sequence Breakers will be doing as much coverage on the system and as many games as we can get a hold of as fast as we possibly can do them. Personally, I'm of the opinion that I really want this console to work out for Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I'm a huge fan of the Zelda series. I think the new way they have presented the console seems interesting, and honestly, I'm sure those people who are forking over the cash for one are on their knees praying that it works, so we don't have to fork out even more for another one should Nintendo decide they screwed up. And you know, who really loses out if the console works? I mean, I know there's always the fanboys of other consoles, but really besides that, what do we really all lose from an actually good Nintendo console? What, we get more third-party multi-platform developers? Sounds to me like it just means more games on all the consoles. We just have more of an option as to what exclusives we care about more. The delay in porting games over will be non-existent once it's out. I don't know why people seem to be under the impression that all multi-platform releases will be out later on the Wii U than on any other console. Really, the only delayed multi-platform games are the ones whose other console versions came out before the console itself. Releases like Assassin's Creed 3 and so on. We get a wider variety of games across all consoles. The only difference would be the exclusives. Doesn't sound like a loss to me. Maybe to you fanboys, like your ego or something, but nothing else really. One other point I'd like to bring up is the ridiculous debate about specs. I have come across many videos where people try to say why the Wii U is or is not superior spec-wise from the PS3 or 360. Come on, guys, do you really think Nintendo is so stupid that after having just admitted they made some bad choices with the Wii, that they would just totally throw out all that they have learned and release a console that can't beat 2 other consoles that have been out and aging since 2005 and 2006? This is the point where they would have to try hard not to release a console that is superior to both, even their slim versions. It's not a matter of technical amounts of memory or hardware performance, it's just common sense. Common sense alone should tell you that the Wii U specs will be superior in almost every way to the 360 and PS3. Now, whether that holds true for the next generation consoles remains to be seen, and other than just to respond to the Wii U, I don't see why Microsoft or Sony would want to rush out their next consoles. I'd rather them take their time, wait another few years or so, and make good quality consoles that feel polished rather than just something that will answer the Wii U. Would anyone really complain if we had the same consoles for the next few years? The graphics aren't anything to complain about. The level of creativity being put into games at this point is at an all-time high because developers have had time to tinker with their systems and know what they're doing. Why ruin that? Why come out with a new console and a new template to get used to? Let the Wii run its course and replace the Wii. The Wii is the only console this generation that anybody has anything to complain about, and something is being done about it. If the Wii U had been released a few years back in place of the original Wii, there would be no debate. No talking of Xbox 720 or PS4 because the 360 and PS3 are still good quality systems. Nintendo is just now catching up with the times, and for some reason people think Microsoft and Sony should be threatened by that and make new consoles. I'm sorry, but that makes no sense to me. Sorry if you don't agree with me. I'm not trying to be a fanboy or anything. I'm just trying to get people to think about this stuff in a logical way. I have no quarrels with the way the systems are. I like Nintendo consoles. I like the original and the current Xbox. I like the PS2. I may not care much for the PS3, but that doesn't mean I'm necessarily against it either. I just don't think we need another console war going on so soon. Anyways, enough about that. When the Wii U is released, the Sequence Breakers will be covering as much ground as we can. We will do an unboxing as soon as we get it in the door, after getting it from the store. And by the way, it will be the deluxe edition. That's the black one with the 32 gigabytes of save space. The games we will have on release will be Assassin's Creed 3 for any of you interested in the difference between Wii U and other versions. I figured a few people might appreciate it if there were any differences, if we covered that rather than just doing the quicker thing and buying it for Xbox or PS3 like a lot of people seem to be doing. We were originally planning on having Pikmin 3 on release night, but as it turns out, Nintendo has changed the release date to sometime in spring 2013. It says on all the online stores it's available December 31st though, and I also heard from another source that it was January 1st, so if anyone knows for sure and can send me a credible link for verification, that would be appreciated. We still plan to have Pikmin 3 as soon as it's out. It's one of the ones I've been super excited to see and play for a long time. It's one of those long overdue games that I just have to get my hands on so nobody has to worry about that being overlooked. It will be covered just not as early as I had originally thought. I can't wait to command my own little army of Pikmin once again, in HD no less. Alright, so that's Assassin's Creed 3 and Pikmin 3 so far. The next game we'll be covering is one a lot of people have been wondering about. It's a game really with no past, so we really have nothing to go by other than what we've seen of the advertising and other YouTube videos showing people demoing it. I am, of course, talking about Zombie U, another game with the console name in it, which, by the way, Nintendo needs to knock that off. It was cute in the beginning, but it's kind of gotten old. Anyways, I think Zombie U is a bit of a wild card among the games that will be available from day one. Nobody seems to know much about it besides it being a first-person shooter zombie survival game. We don't know if there's a main story. We don't know anything Nintendo hasn't told us, and that's not a lot. I'm hoping that's a good thing and that Nintendo has a lot up their sleeve with this game, and it's hopefully not them just cashing in on all the zombie hype that has been going around the past year or two. Only time will tell. But luckily for those who want a look at it before buying, the Sequence Breakers will be delivering that look directly through your eye holes into your brain. Now, of course, because we are getting the deluxe edition of the console, it will be bundled together with Nintendo Land. I really don't know much to say about it other than it's Nintendo Land. It's a collection of mostly minigames for you to play, probably a tech demo type thing. Each of these games have their own theme based on several well-known Nintendo titles, such as The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Mario, Pikmin, and so on. It's gotten some good word in so far, but again, we only know what Nintendo wants us to know so far. Other than those games, there aren't really any others for the Wii U that have been planned. And because we may be waiting for Pikmin 3 to come out, I may just decide to surprise you all and get one extra Wii U title. If you want to see one in particular, you can again comment somewhere on the YouTube channel, Facebook, or Twitter pages. Otherwise, it will just be a spur-of-the-moment type decision, so you can take it into your own hands, or you can let me decide. If I just get one comment on the channel saying you want me to get, like, so-and-so game, there is a high chance I will do that just for that one person. Now, I'm obviously not only going to pay attention to the serious comments. I'm not going to get a game I know is horrible. I won't say any game in particular, but there are a few stinkers in the release list. Oh, and one more important thing regarding the Wii U. For the most part, I will be playing these games only on the gamepad that comes with the system. Sid will more than likely be taking part in the first few episodes of these games, and we will be either switching off with the gamepad, or he will be following along with another type of controller. But we will probably mention which controller during the episode just so you all know. I plan to have at least one remote and nunchuck, as well as one Pro controller on hand at release. I used to have a Wii, but that was back when I lived with half the time with my my dad and stepmom. But now I don't, so I no longer have any of that stuff. So I will have to buy new ones on release, unless Sid volunteers one of his own for me to hold on to for a while. But that's all besides the point. Because the gamepad has a screen on it, I'm going to try and see if I can get a small box that shows what's on the gamepad into the corner of each video, but that may or may not work out. I will if I can, though, because I feel for some games it's an important mechanic and important if it influences your own decision about whether or not to get the Wii U or a certain version of a game, and that goes for all future Wii U games as well. If I can't show a gamepad view in all of my videos, then I will do my best, at least to do a side video for each game showing how they use it. After all that is done, we should be pretty darn well taken care of for the Wii U. I will give you all a look at the main menu interface and some of the features as well. I didn't want to forget to mention that. On another note, I wanted to ask everyone who actually watches this how you found the channel. What video series did you first take interest in? If you all had any questions as far as games or the quality of the Let's Plays, or just to say hi up to this point, we don't have any comments yet. If you just want to say hi or make any kind of comment in general, be it on this or any of our videos, you'll more than likely get some kind of response. Now try to be more creative than just saying first or any of that nonsense. I'm more than likely to delete that than reply, but you get the idea. Comments are welcome, likes, subscriptions. If you would like to see more, don't forget about what I said earlier about commenting. If you want us to keep Borderlands. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, all YouTubers alike, I wish you all the best of Novembers. Thank you all for listening to what I've had to say. Until next time, this has been Koto of TheSequenceBreakers, signing off.